The chess world just recently witnessed one of the best chess tournaments of the last decade. We had big upsets, decisive games, a nail-biting finish and possibly the biggest surprise of the tournament, Gukesh D actually winning the whole event. The 17-year-old became the youngest player ever to win this prestigious tournament in history and acquired the golden ticket to the World Chess Championship stage, where he will face the current World Chess Champion, Ding Liren. But before that, let's rewind time to the start of the candidates tournament. Before this event even began, there were many interesting and exciting storylines to look forward to. Firstly, we have Fabiano Caruana, who is the second highest rated player in the world and recently in very good form. He has also won this same event back in 2018, where he was a world champion challenger against Magnus Carlsen. Next we have the professional streamer Hikaru Nakamura, who is the third highest rated player in the world. He has never won the candidates tournament, but he was still a very big favorite to win this event, especially with him winning the massive Norway chess title last year. Next we have probably the biggest performer in this tournament, Ian Nepomniachtchi. He has won this tournament 2 times already and was in first place every round in both events he played. Ian has unfortunately lost both his World Championship matches against Magnus and Ding, but will definitely try to continue his dominant performance in his favorite tournament. We also have the lowest rated player of the tournament, Nijat Abasov. His chances of winning this tournament was always next to nothing, but he will still try his hardest to put a dent into the world's best grandmasters. Next we have the Iranian/French wonderboy, Alireza Firouzja. There has been a lot of controversy surrounding his qualification, but his amazing attacking style of play is always a treat to watch. Last but not least, we have the 3 Indian grandmasters, Pragg, Vidit, and Gukesh. India is trying to make their mark on the modern chess world, and it seems these 3 will try to do their best to flip this whole event on its head, especially our main character for this story. There were many predictions flying around this event, but most people agreed that the most experienced players were way more likely to win, namely Hikaru, Ian, and Fabiano. This sentiment was also shared by the current #1 player in the world, Magnus Carlsen. In a Chess.com video before the tournament, Magnus ranked the candidates by how well he thought they would perform. His ranking was pretty safe and approved by most of the chess world, but he was in for a very rude awakening. 8 players, 14 rounds, 1 winner, let's go. The tournament started off pretty slow as all the players drew their games in round 1. This is pretty common in high-level competitions, as it gives the players more confidence and stability going into the tournament. The second round kicked off with a bang as Gukesh and Pragg went up against each other. Pragg played a very exotic game where he sacrificed not 1, not 2 but 3 pawns in the opening. Unfortunately, his opening preparations backfired as Gukesh stubbornly defended and emerged up material. Gukesh ended the game very cleanly and grabbed his first win of the tournament as he joined the other leaders. In round 3, Gukesh faced Ian and had a slight advantage the whole game, but it ultimately ended in a draw. In round 4 he drew his game against Fabiano, but this meant Ian was sole leading the tournament. Round 5 kicked off versus the dark horse of the tournament, Nijat. Gukesh took his chances and won a very good game. This allowed Gukesh to join Ian as a leader of the tournament. Round 6 came with the challenger named Hikaru. Hikaru tried his best to take Gukesh out of his prep with a provocative Sicilian opening choice, but Gukesh played very accurately and steered the game to a draw. Next came round 7 and his opponent was Alireza. It was a very thrilling match and Gukesh was comfortably winning, until he blundered in low time and lost the match. This was a very crushing defeat which allowed Ian to take the sole lead once again. Luckily, this was the halfway point of the tournament and the players were allowed a rest day. This was exactly what Gukesh needed to calm down and prepare himself for the final stretch. Gukesh tried to bounce back from his unfortunate loss last round against his now round 8 opponent, Vidit. Gukesh steeled his nerves, sharpened his resolve and won the game with the black pieces. This made Gukesh join Ian again at the top of the leaderboard. Next was round 9 against Pragg. After a very interesting game, the players agreed to a draw. Round 10 was the battle of the leaders, Ian versus Gukesh. Gukesh tried to imbalance the game with a provocative sideline of the Spanish opening, but this did not faze Ian as they settled for a draw. Round 11 was against Fabiano. This was a very aggressive game where Gukesh had the advantage, but Fabiano was launching a terrifying pawn storm against Gukesh's king. Under pressure, Gukesh found the correct moves to force the game to a relieving draw. Gukesh played Nijat once again in round 12 and saw this as the perfect opportunity. He took his chances and won the game, putting him next to the leaders once again. In round 13, Gukesh finally got his rematch against Alireza after that devastating loss in round 7. The game again went into low time, but this time Gukesh calmed down and confidently found the best moves to win the match. This win put Gukesh in the sole lead with with one more round to go, but it was not over. The top 4 places were still only half a point behind Gukesh. Also, all top 4 players were poetically playing against each other in the last round. The stakes could not be much higher. In the final round, Fabiano played against Ian and Gukesh played against Hikaru. If Gukesh wins his game, then he wins the tournament. But if he draws, Fabiano or Ian has to win in order to play playoff games the next day. As Hikaru had the white pieces against Gukesh, he was desperately searching for a win, but to no avail. Gukesh defended, traded the pieces and comfortably steered the game to a draw. Now all eyes were on the Fabiano versus Ian game. But wait, Fabiano is completely winning. But the end game is also very complicated. Both players blundered and missed very big chances, but ultimately Fabiano could not find the best moves and drew the game. This meant that there is a winner, and it's the youngest player in the tournament, Gukesh Damaraju. Will he become the world's youngest world champion? We'll have to wait and see.